From my garden to the table, come make homemade tomato soup with me today. It is late September, early October, and I'm getting another late harvest in my tomato garden. This will be my third batch with a fourth coming this season. It was just a few weeks ago these tomatoes were still green on the vine. I've been checking on them every morning, just waiting for them to finally ripen. And as I'm looking at these ripened tomatoes, I am seeing so many more green ones that are going to be ready in just a couple of weeks. Would you look at the beautiful color of these? I'm washing something I grew myself. I love that. It feels different than buying it in the store or just opening up a can. I'm using a mix of yellow tomatoes, cherry tomatoes, maybe a couple Roma tomatoes. They may not all be perfect, but you know what? That's the beauty of homegrown. They have so much flavor. I'm looking at these tomatoes and I'm thinking, wow, these tomatoes started out in my backyard just a few months ago. I love that. I used to rush through things like this, chopping up tomatoes just to get it done. But lately I've learned to slow down just a little to actually enjoy the process. I've gotten in the habit of keeping my pantry stocked with all of the basics. So that way, when it comes to whipping up a homemade recipe like this, I've got everything I need on hand. This recipe is really simple. It really only takes some garlic, maybe some minced onion, a little bit of basil, oregano, some salt and pepper. If you want to add that paprika, you can. This shelf insert is a game changer. I will link it in my Amazon storefront in the description box below. Can't forget the garlic. Oh, and the chicken bouillon. Love this stuff for flavor. How do you store your garlic? I store it in a mason jar with some burlap for venting, and I store it in a dry, dark, cool place like my pantry. And it really does keep it fresh and good, I'd say for a couple of months. I'm gonna go with 2 bulbs of garlic for this recipe because it is a bigger batch. Because did you see how many tomatoes I picked today? We're gonna add some onion to this. I'm going with a yellow one, and you choose how much onion you wanna add to your recipe. And a nice rough chop will get the job done. This floral lace cookware set by Temptations is everything. I love it. I ended up having about 6 cups of tomatoes from my garden, so I'm gonna cook them all. You really can make this recipe however large or small you want it to be. It really is more of a measure from the heart than real measurements. Once you have the main ingredients down, it really is just measuring from the heart. Both those garlic cloves are gonna go right in with the tomatoes and onions. And let me tell you, once they roast, they get so rich. And it really is what makes the soup so good. I'm gonna drizzle some olive oil, and I'm gonna be a little bit generous with that. I'm gonna give this a sprinkle of some kosher salt. Kosher salt is the way to go. And again, we are measuring with our heart. I'm gonna go in with some black pepper, And I'll give you a measurement for the basil. You're gonna add just about a teaspoon of basil. And oregano. You gotta add the oregano because the flavor is amazing. It goes so well with the tomatoes. We wanna add a bit of acidity to this, and I have found that adding some balsamic vinaigrette to it gives it just the right amount of acidity and tang. Oh my goodness. And I'm gonna top it off with a little bit of crushed pepper, and this really is optional, adding those flakes. And we're gonna bake this at 450 for about 35 to 40 minutes, uncovered. Really roast it all up. It's been about 45 minutes. I think it's ready to come out of the oven. And this is the part I love most. Everything softens, it sweetens, and it comes together. It's proof that good things really do take their time. All that goodness that just came out of the oven is gonna go right into this Dutch oven. And we can't forget the goodness in those 2 bulbs of garlic. Oh my word. The best part in my opinion. I'm gonna add 1 tablespoon of chicken bouillon powder to 2 cups of boiling water. I'm not one who keeps broth on hand. I just keep the bouillon powders, and when I need them, they're there, and I make my broth. I'm gonna add this broth to the tomatoes, onion, and garlic. And fresh basil is a must. No need to throw away those basil stalks because those are filled with so much flavor on top of the basil itself. I'm gonna let all this simmer for about 15 or 20 minutes and let all those flavors come together. The basil, the garlic, the chicken broth, the tomatoes. Let all that goodness come together. The smell of fresh tomatoes and garlic simmering on the stove instantly smells like fall to me. Let's blend this up and try not to make a mess. Adding 2 cups of heavy whipping cream is going to make this smoother and creamier. A taste test is going to tell me what I need to add to this. You can't have tomato soup without a grilled cheese. Pulled out Ray's cheese grater, and we're going to go with extra sharp white cheddar cheese because it is our favorite. And I'm gonna shred a full block of this cheese. I remember when Ray would cook every Sunday for our family dinners. It was always family game night and dinner night on Sundays. Ray would come up with a recipe. He'd get everything that we needed for that recipe, and we were all in the kitchen cooking it. And if the recipe had cheese in it, well, you better believe if that cheese needed to be shredded, he did not buy pre-shredded cheese. He just thought that was the wrongest thing ever. He was so against it, he just said, you have to shred the cheese from a block. It's better. It tastes better. It goes better in the recipe. And so this was his cheese grater. And when I pull it out now, I think of Ray, and I tell you, I don't buy pre-shredded cheese all that often anymore. I bet Ray's smiling. Oh my goodness. We're gonna have our grilled cheese on sourdough, because who doesn't? And we are not using butter, we are using mayonnaise. Trust me when I tell you that olive oil is the way to go here. You don't want to go the non-stick cooking spray route. Once you've got that olive oil down, go ahead and place some of that shredded cheese right there on the griddle, and let's let it melt down just a bit. Go ahead and place that bread, mayonnaise side down onto the cheese. Then add more of whatever cheese it is that you're using. And you want to be generous with that cheese. The more cheesy, the more ooey and gooey, the better. And you don't want to be neat about that cheese. You don't want that cheese only on your sandwich. You want it on the griddle, because the crispy goodness that comes with that cheese when it cooks on the griddle is, yeah, it is all of it. It really is. Then we're gonna add that top piece of bread with the mayonnaise side up, and we're gonna let that cheese melt. Look at how delicious that looks. That adds to the flavor, and let me tell you, that is where the goodness is at, where that melted cheese is. That is now sticking to the bread, the outside, the inside is melting, and just, oh my goodness, I cannot wait. So we're gonna let this get good and brown and toasted on both sides. Oh my word, I may have to flip this back over and crisp it up just a bit more. Because yeah, you need a crispy grilled cheese when you have a tomato soup and grilled cheese sandwich. There's no describing this. Would you look at that perfection? Let's go ahead and cut into this. What is your favorite cheese to add to your grilled cheese? Sometimes I like to add multiple cheeses, have 2 or 3 different cheeses. Yes, this is ready. I love my Floral Lace Temptations dishware. This is not a sponsored video, but let me tell you, I have never loved dishware as much as I love this set. And when I saw it on QVC, I went all in because it matched my kitchen. And it makes cooking in the kitchen, eating off of our dishes, so much fun. Look at that sandwich plate. Isn't that fun? Just something different other than eating on a regular plate. Got our soup bowl, our sandwich. Oh, I can't wait for dinner. The girls are going to love this. But we've got to top this soup off with just a little bit of heavy cream there right on the top. Look at there. And this is going to add even more flavor with a bit of basil. That screams fall and comfort. Simple, cozy, and comforting. It's not fancy, but it's the kind of meal that feels like home to us. From garden to table to family time. This is what I value. This is what I cherish, and this is what brings me peace. Until next time, everybody. I hope you have a fantastic day. Stay happy, stay safe, stay healthy, but most of all, you know what I'm gonna say. It might be a hard one, and you might have to dig deep, but I believe in you. You're gonna try and stay positive, because I'm surely trying. Bye for now.